Heroes of Fantasy Football Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Heroes of Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host this evening, Matt High, joined by Joe Capozzi and Chris Felice. We have a really fun episode today. All the best starts, all the worst sits. That sounded a little weird, but you know what I mean. All the best players to start, and all the players you need to sit. Yes, we're here. Joe, how are we doing? How's your fantasy season going so far?
It's a roller coaster. We're alive in guillotine leagues that we're in. The new dynasty league is hit or miss, but our reigning Heroes of Fantasy Football dynasty that we're all in a 3-0, going for the back-to-back trophy. Feeling good, feeling confident.
Nice. Yeah, not gonna lie, I was a little busy last night, so I completely forgot to put in waivers for the Guillotine League, and I kind of need people. So hopefully, I'm not on that chopping block. You know, Yahoo's graphics for who gets chopped have been a little bit graphic. So hopefully, my head doesn't get kicked up through the field goal posts. So we'll see. I'll keep everyone tuned. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, fantasy's been great, honestly, for me so far. I have one league where I'm 0-3. As many of you guys know, I'm in like 13 of these things, which is a problem, but that's okay. We don't talk about
Send
that.
help.
No, don't. But yeah, I'm 0-3 in one league. I don't count the two dynasty leagues that I'm in that I'm like attempting to actually throw. Those are just kind of, if I win, I actually feel bad. But yeah, I'm 0-3-1. Everything else, I'm doing pretty fine for the most part. I'm in live both guillotines. That's pretty great. I even picked up some players in the one guillotine that I feel like I've been on the chopping block every single week so far. So that's going to be good. Yeah, no, it's been good so far. I'm excited. I love watching my phone go off with all the notifications whenever someone's in the red zone or a touchdown or a big play. It's like my favorite thing of all time. I sat there week one. I'm like, yes, it's back. We're back, baby. Football.
Yeah, I wish my redraft team got those notifications, but instead I get the notifications. Might miss 2 to 4 weeks, heading to IR, and disappeared from the field. So I get all those notifications. It's great. It's
abducted,
wonderful.
has not been found.
Yes,
pulled an Antonio Brown, ran off.
Pretty much. I mean, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. If you're like me and you're 0-3 in a redraft league, all hope is not lost. Okay, just stick with it. We're gonna help you out. That's the goal of this podcast. We want to help you get through the waivers. We want to help you look at trade players to trade for, players to trade away. You know, underperforming, overperforming players. You really capitalize on that. Every week we do this start-sit show, so we give you the top starts of the week based on our rankings and where we think the games are going to go. So stay tuned. If you could do as a huge, huge favor for everyone that has already done this, thank you. But if you have not, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out. We're going to be doing a lot more as the season progresses. We have more stuff in the pipeline that we're going to bring out to everybody. But any little bit you can do to help us achieve our goals of just becoming a more mainstream podcast is much appreciated. We do this for everybody. We want everyone to not make the same mistakes we make. We've seen a thing or two, so we're going to pass those along to you. So, not to bore anybody, we're going to dive right in. We got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to dive right into our starts of the week. All right, Joe. Quarterback. Seems to be a decent slate of games this week. Where are we going for quarterback?
So my start of the week might surprise some people. It's going to be Michael Penix versus the Washington Commanders. He's coming off probably one of the worst games we've seen a quarterback play in a long time. He got sat midway through for Kirk. Bad game, but we got to look at his week one
correction. It was Kirko Chains. Just want to make sure we got that.
Sorry.
Yes, Kirko Chains.
Week one, Tampa Bay at home. He put up 27 fantasy points in half-point PPR, 42 passing attempts. He looked like a monster that game. Now, this is the first game back at home since week one. The other 2 weeks at Minnesota, at Carolina, both on the road games, looked pretty shaky. I'm thinking this is going to be a bounce back game. I don't know if we're going to be going against Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota. I don't think it really matters which of them. The Washington Commanders offense has looked kind of disastrous as of so far. So I think it's going to be just a slugfest. I feel good with him at home. I feel good with him playing against Washington. I think this is going to be a really big bounce back week for him. I think he's at least going to look. I think you're at least looking at like 16 to 17 fantasy points for Michael Penix Jr. this week.
For my dynasty team's sake, I hope not, because I have Kirk Cousins that I want to do things. But
well, they already announced
it
that Michael Penix is still going to be the starter. So.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah,
Matt.
no, that's fine. For me, so I'm gonna be a little selfish right now. I kind of hope Michael Penix does not do good, so that way my value of Kirk Cousins is not just what's in the toilet.
Justify your terrible trade you made.
Hey, Kirk Cousins has played more snaps than Jordan Addison so far this season. So,
I'm gonna interrupt.
So
I'm gonna interject and put my QB before we get on the tirade here. I have
ahead,
Matthew
Chris.
Stafford versus the Colts. My pick of this is actually for a very basic reason. Daniel Jones somehow, believe it or not, has looked fantastic on the Colts, leading them to 3-0. The offense has been very aggressive. A lot of passing, and same side. I feel as if the pass attack on the Rams has gotten better, especially last week. It looked pretty good. I think this will be a complete shootout, in my opinion. I think the Colts defense is good. I think they've benefited from playing against some subpar teams so far. So I think that besides I guess the Broncos, if we're gonna, because I know the Broncos are going through it right now. Something's going on there. But beyond that, I think that I don't think the Rams defense is also anything that crazy. So I think that this will be complete shootout between the two of them. We know Matthew Stafford has Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. Fantastic options. Loves throwing the ball. Even Kyron Williams likes to catch passes in the end zone, which I think all are fantastic options and opportunities. So yeah, I feel pretty confident with Matthew Stafford. I know it's not the most exciting pick, but if you're one of those like you had Joe Burrow, get absolutely calamity out of existence, or maybe you have I don't know if Brock Purdy has been like confirmed playing this week, but maybe he isn't, and you don't trust Mac, this could be your guy.
I like it. I like it a lot. Matthew Stafford is definitely someone probably get on the cheap, and if you trade for him. So whether you're in Dynasty League or even a redraft, I think he's got value. All right, my quarterback start of the week is going to be Kyler Murray going against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, hasn't had the best season so far. That offense looks pretty abysmal in most games so far, but he was 2 big drops away from having a huge fantasy game. Marvin Harrison Jr. dropped a deep ball that probably should have been a touchdown, and also had one go through his hands in the back of the end zone. So we're talking a 3-touchdown game last week if those two did just connected. It's going against the Seahawks. I think this game is going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty high scoring. Sam Darnold has already shown that he can pass pretty good on this offense. I was a little surprised. So I expect the Seahawks to be able to put up some points against the Cardinals, especially because their defense is not that good. And that's kind of what you want to target. You want the other side to score in a matchup like this, so that way your quarterback is forced to throw the ball. Pass attempts should see a slight increase. He's been around, low 30s, mid 30s. I expect that to be closer to 40 this week, just because I think they're going to have to. And we're gonna talk about another guy later that I think is going to have a bounce back and kind of right the ship here. But he's been doing pretty good. He averages over at least a touchdown a game. So his floor is also decent. He's been getting about 32 rushing yards each game, which isn't a lot, but I think it's enough to kind of give you a baseline each week. And then if we have one of these spike weeks, look, Kyler can do it. We've seen this in the past. It's a little hit or miss, but I'm putting in the chips on it this week. I will be starting Kyler Murray if I have him because I think the upside is very, very high. Does that scare you guys at all? Because I know the fantasy community is kind of down on Kyler right now. Rightfully so. But
So I'll say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't dislike the Kyler pick. I don't necessarily. I think he'll be okay. What I will say is that Seattle Seahawks defense, I think, is a little better than you and I think most of us are giving them credit for, in my personal opinion.
agreed.
I think that they'll be a very good, I mean, just defensive pick overall for your teams. Does that make it so that way I'm like not inclined to start Kyler? No. In fact, I'm so inclined to start him that I actually picked him up this week in one of the guillotine leagues because Joe Burrow died. And I can't help that. But but yeah, not saying you have to follow what I'm doing. But yeah, I see it. I understand it. I mean, you can't get much. And you're right. 2 drops to the end zone away from a fantastic week is, and it's not really also on Kyler. At some point you can definitely see the kind of good side of Kyler Murray, 100%.
All right. Joe, running backs. There's a lot of good ones this week. Which one are you putting the flag on?
I'm finally gonna say it, and it's been kind of a rough start so far, but it's finally time for everyone that picked up or drafted Amari and Hampton, or if someone dropped him because he hasn't been producing and he for some reason he's on the waiver wire. Now is the time to put him in your start. We lost Najee to that Achilles injury. He's going to be out for the year, so it is now the Hampton show for the Chargers. So he's going to get the workload. I don't care if he's going against good teams, bad teams. If there's a running back with a good workload, it's going to equal fantasy points for you, and I'm going to start them regardless of who they're going against. This week, I don't think it's that bad of a matchup for Hampton. I think he's playing, what was it,
The
We're
Giants.
going against
the Giants. So I
Which
could
the
see
Giants'
them.
defense isn't terrible.
The Giants,
but
the Giants defense isn't terrible, but it's going to be Dart in for the first time. We don't know how he's going to do yet in a real NFL game. So if, say, the Chargers do get ahead with Justin Herbert at the helm, I could see them just running it a lot with Hampton to kind of wind down the clock, and that's going to be points. So
this will be the first, I think, big test for Hampton. I know I called him as my start against the Raiders, which turns out the Raiders defense don't mess with them, at least the defensive line. So this will be a good test for Omar and Hampton. He's going to get all the work, like you said. So let's see what this rook can do. He's got the talent. So he's one of these rookies is bound to have a blow up game, other than Emeka Egbuka. So I think you're right. It's going to be Hampton this week.
open.
Chris, who's your running back start of the week?
Kind of similar thought process. I got Jordan Mason going up against the Steelers. Now, Steelers is a pretty, good defense overall, I think, in my personal opinion. I know they were definitely, valued highly before the season had started. Aaron Jones, obviously not there anymore, so it is Jordan Mason all the way. Chugga chugga choo choo. Same thing. He's the guy. He's going to get the touches. He's going to run in. I mean, he did pretty well last week. And with the quarterback situation going on over there, I think no matter who's in, I think you're going to be fine. I don't think you're going to have to worry at all. Because at the end of the day, if it's Carson Wentz, obviously what happened last week is, where it is. And if it's J.J. McCarthy, honestly, I think that the safety valve is just going to be Jordan Mason. And it'll just be even if it's like not, every single run isn't like the greatest, it's still going to be like 3-4 yards, and it's just going to accumulate over and over and over. So yeah, I think Jordan Mason is just a snap start in your lineup. RB2 flex. I don't see how you don't start him.
I like it. My running back star of the week is going to be none other than Josh Jacobs, heading against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is going to be a very emotional game for both teams. Jerry Jones is going to be his typical self and probably say it's fine. But looking at what happened this offseason, we had Micah Parsons get traded from the Cowboys to the Packers, whose defense is amazing. So they're really hard to play against. They're going to play with a lot of emotion this week because they're going to want to stick it to the Cowboys. They kind of fleeced them in the trade to get Micah Parsons, so they're going to continue on the field. I expect this game to go one way and one way only. The Packers are going to get up to a big lead. We don't have CeeDee Lamb on the other side of the ball, so it's going to be very difficult for the Cowboys to score, in my opinion. I don't think George Pickens is the caliber player to be the alpha number one. No matter what, he's always open because we've seen that in the past. It just hasn't happened. So they're going to get up to a lead, and what they're going to do is just let Josh Jacobs do his thing. He can handle a bulk workload. He hasn't he hasn't hit top 12 yet so far this season in half PPR scoring, but he hasn't really needed to be. This week I think he's going to have more volume than he knows what to do with. I think he's going to be able to be utilized in the passing game. He's going to get touchdowns. I'm putting the touchdown guarantee on Josh Jacobs this week. That's a guarantee. I'm putting money on it. It's going to be a great week for him. And I mean, Michael Parsons is not there to run against him. That's a huge positive. So I think he's going to be able to do kind of whatever he wants. And what do the Packers like to do? They like to run the football, and they're going to do that with Josh Jacobs. So he's going to be
will
top,
be there. He'll just be on the bench on the other team.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a halftime trade. Maybe they'll put a Uno reverse card
trade.
out. Uno reverse card. Be like, oh,
I'm under the impression. So actually, I forgot. You know what? Come back to me on this. Let me look this up.
Okay. But yeah, Josh Jacobs is just set to explode this week. He's averaging, decent amount of yards per carry. Last week was kind of rough going against the Browns, but the Browns defense is also very good as well. So, everyone has struggled against the Browns except for maybe the Ravens. Go ahead, Chris. You got it?
Yeah, quick fact, fun fact regarding that funny comment with the trade halftime, right? There has been one instance, to my knowledge, in sports, in like major sports, where a single player has played for both teams in a single game. That is Danny Jansen, in Major League Baseball. He achieved this by being on the Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays in the same game. I believe it went that he was on the Red Sox at first, and then the game got rain delayed. And it got rain delayed by being rescheduled to a entirely different day many months down the line. During that time, he got traded to the Blue Jays, and they continued that game, and that scorecard still counts. So he played legitimately on both teams. I'm under the impression that's the only time in major sports that has ever happened. So just fun fact for the day. Sorry, keep going.
Maybe it'll happen this week. Who knows? All right. Let's look at wide receiver. Joe, where are we looking?
So I'm going to pick Cortland Sutton playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. Just coming off a really nice week against the Chargers. It was a really big game for him. He looked like the wide receiver one there again. He came off a big week 1, and then we have a week that we never want to talk about again, week 2 against the Colts, where he only put up 1.1 point in half point PPR. But even that week, he still got targeted 4 times, which is a good sign. 9 times week 1, 8 times last week in week 3. So I'm thinking that he is going to be another solid start. I have him in redraft. I'm putting him in my flex spot. I feel good with putting him in. I think he's going to at least get me double-digit points, which is all I can really ask for a flex spot player. I feel pretty confident with that. I don't think we saw the Bengals play last week. They did not look that great. So I think
that is definitely a way you can say it. Yeah,
it's
been
been
mildly.
Yeah, it's been a long time where it's always like The Bengals offense is so high scoring that they keep them in games, but their defense has been very lackluster for a long time. I think that's going to continue. I think Bo's going to have a nice game, and I think Cortland Sutton is going to put up some decent fantasy points for you if you put him in.
Alrighty.
Dare I say it? Are we at the point where how we were like last year? Where sorry, I'm freezing up a little bit. My apologies. All right, I'm back now. I think. Right? Am I good?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah?
We just
Okay,
phased him
my
in,
fault.
folks. Don't worry.
Yeah. I think there was like last year we had start anybody you got against the Panthers, start him. Are we at that point with the Bengals?
I mean,
Close.
probably.
Right?
I need one or two more weeks to confirm, but I think we're getting close.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hit us with my wide receiver. I got DJ Moore up against the Raiders. Now, my DJ Moore boys, it has been a struggle watching Rome Odunze rise to this form. I'm getting
Start of the week last week.
I'm getting Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen vibes from this, where Justin Jefferson gets drafted. Adam Thielen's there. He had a fantastic year the year before. It was good. And then he just usurps that position. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here. But I think going up against the Raiders, a different opportunity kind of arises, as we were saying, bit of a better defense. I think that, as this, Ben Johnson does not seem to be satisfied with the way the offense is moving at the current moment. I think they are evolving day after day. I think that as the season progresses, I don't know if DJ Moore will be the number one, but I think he'll be a solid wide receiver 2 to flex spot, which is where I suggest you play him at. Right, this is the type of guy he's going to get you my hope, your 12 to 15 points, call it a day, right? And that's okay. That is okay. That is fine. I think that because it's going up against the Raiders, the target share will be a little more diverse. I guess. I mean, we even saw the rise of Luther Burden last week with that one really long touchdown. Good for him. So, yeah, I think that if you drafted him thinking, like myself, that he might be a guy you can maybe sneakily start, and he might be a top 10 receiver, not going to happen. But this is probably a quality flex pick for a while. He's reliable. He's still a very good player. The Bears are just in a really weird spot where they have so many good weapons on the receiver core that it's kind of hard to not use them all, But I still feel confident in the flex play of DJ Moore, so I'm going to lock that one in.
Alrighty. I like that pick too. So I want to give 2 players actually, because we wrote the show doc up here. Yeah, well, I'm switching things up. I'm in charge.
What
I'm
the
doing
hell?
things.
We can do
we're
that?
going off the rails here.
That's it. My second start of the week is going to be I'm panicking. I can't even think of who the number 1 wide receiver is right now.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna shout out 2 guys. First guy, because I mentioned it at the top of the show, Marvin Harrison Jr. going against the Seahawks. Again, same thing with Kyler. He was 2 plays away from having a monster day. Okay, this matchup, I already talked about it with Kyler. I think he's going to be a good play this week. I think all week they're going to have to sit down in meetings and really get on the same page, and I think that starts this week. So Marvin Harrison Jr. Next one here, we kind of talked about it a little bit before the show. I'm doing it. I think I'm putting him in against you this week, Joe. We're going with Quentin Johnston. All right, we're doing it. We're in. I'm ready. I'm buying in the rest of the season.
And just like that, he's back to Butterhands McGee. Just like that.
Probably.
All it took was Matt putting him in his lineup. That's wild.
Here comes the rise of Lad.
Yeah, I know.
Probably. You're welcome, Chris.
I need that.
He's been great so far this season. Week 1, over 22 points, 2 touchdowns, 7 targets. He led the Chargers in targets last week. Going against the Giants, we already said it with Omar and Hampton. They're going to be able to do enough against the Giants that I think he's going to be needed. I mean, he did decently against the Denver Broncos defense, and the Denver Broncos defense is pretty good. 10 targets against them, 6 receptions for 89 yards. He
I
still
don't
deals with a few
know.
drops,
Keenan
but
got
he's
11.
also been getting a lot of targets. So I'm ready for this week. He's going to be fine. Just at this point, he's a must-start wide receiver. He's not a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2 flex, but I'm finding a way to put him in my lineup.
Joe, how does that make you feel going up against him this week?
I'm president of the Quentin Johnson hate club, so I'm pleased. Put him in, put Anthony Richardson in, put all these bad players in against me. I'll take it any day.
Well, if Richardson was actually playing football, he would be in.
But he's made of glass.
Yes, he is. I was hoping that he was going to be
And
made
he's
of
bad.
plexiglass this year.
Like,
but...
yeah, sure, he's made of glass, but he's also bad. No, sorry, that was being.
Too soon. All right.
Did you guys see the interview of the coach saying, "Make sure we don't hurt Anthony,
Yeah!
so he stays in the game because
That's
he's so
insane
bad."
to me.
Was that actually true though, or that's some AI stuff? I don't know. I don't know if Tomlin would say that. He seems
He
like
would. Honestly,
I don't know.
Tomlin absolutely would say that. He would
know.
absolutely. Dude, I don't think he cares. I think he cares about like winning in that sense. I don't think he cares about how like in that sense like he has no other team, they're the enemy. He's gonna shoot it straight. If he actually thinks that way, I think he'd actually say it.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the tight end. Where are we looking at tight end, Joe?
Well, kind of going back to your point, my start of the week for this week is Jake Ferguson on the Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. I mean, look at last week with CD going out, he was targeted 14 times. I mean, for a tight end, what more can we ask for the tight end position? Be targeted 14 times. That's ridiculous. And 12 times a week before, even when CD wasn't having his ankle stepped on. Like, this is great. So I'm starting Jake Ferguson in any league I have him, which currently is only one, sadly, but I'm hoping to get more shares of him if I can other places. Until CD's back, like you said, I don't believe too much in Pickens over there as that lead guy. I think he'll draw some coverage from some safeties, and then it's going to leave Jake Ferguson to just get those garbage yards, and that's going to equal points, baby. And I'm putting him right in my tight end spot.
Oh yeah, like if you have Jake Ferguson, don't watch the game. It's not going to be pretty, but he's going to garbage time his way into a really, really good stat line because
14 targets.
Yeah, Mike Parsons is going to have a little bit of hurt to lay on Dak, and he's going to be running through that offensive line in a hurry. So Dak is going to have to get the ball away very, very quickly, and that is going to be Jake Ferguson. So I love that pick this week. Love it. That might be the tight end start of the week. All right, Chris. I don't know how you follow up with that, but let's try it.
I'm going to be real, Chief. I had a couple things in mind. I could have done safe, reliable Hunter Henry after he had an explosive week last week. I could have said Mark Andrews is a joke because he finally played the game for the first time in the whole season, right? I still hate this position, so I decided to do something a little more unconventional. I'm going to start Dalton Kincaid against the Saints. The Saints are just, like, broken, I think, to a certain extent. Like, you can tell they're trying, but whenever I watch them, it feels like nothing. I know that sounds horrible, especially because Chris Olave is finally kind of starting to come to life after what seems to be a while. Last week, he had a very decent performance going up there, even with Spencer Rattler throwing him the ball. But yeah, I think Dalton Kincaid is definitely a very safe start here. I'm going to give the touchdown guarantee, even though I really probably shouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to give it because I have a decent amount of faith it's going to like happen randomly for no reason. Once again, he could either blow up like the first week or just score you the safe 6-7 points. And you know what? In the like the first 2 weeks we're seeing the praises of Tucker Kraft, and then last week happened. So anything can happen. I feel like safe and reliable is definitely the way to go, which means I probably should have picked Hunter Henry, but that's okay. I'll pick Dalton Kincaid and kind of go from there.
Yeah, fun fact, if I just started Hunter Henry instead of my tight end start of the week last week, I would be 3-0 right now. Thank you, Travis Kelce. I really appreciate it. All right.
No. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh, yeah.
for
Thanks,
taking
Chris.
Travis Kelce.
Awesome. All right, my tight end start of the week is going to be Harold Fannin Jr. on the Cleveland Browns. He gets the Detroit Lions on deck. Lions right now are giving up the third most points to the tight end position through 3 weeks. So it's going to be fine. He's getting involved in the offense. This offense needs somebody to step up. David Njoku has gotten a lot of targets, but hasn't been the typical Njoku that we've seen in the past. Fannin Jr. has shown flashes. Week 1 he had 9 targets, but I think this week both of them are going to be okay. So right now, looking at the rankings for Week 4, they're kind of right next to each other. So you can it's a toss-up, whoever you want. But I think this week is going to be Harold Fannin Jr. I think he's going to get a little bit more involved this week. And I think this is a good spot for them to really kind of let the tight end shine against a susceptible defense against the tight end position. They're the middle of the field is kind of open against the Lions. So having someone with his stature and his skill level. Also, they're running 2 tight end sets sometimes too, so they're both out in the field. I think that helps as well. So, Harold Fannin Jr., I think, is just set up in a good spot this week. So, I will be starting him as one of maybe like a sleeper pick this week. But it wouldn't surprise me if he cracked the top 8 tight end position. All right, gentlemen. Starts of the week are done. Let's tell everybody who we need to sit. So our sits of the week are coming up. All right, Joe, where are we sitting?
I'm sitting Brian Thomas Jr. in every league I have him in until he can prove to me that he is back to 100% healthy and can actually catch the ball. I mean, we're 3 weeks in and he hasn't broken double-digit points yet. Is extremely disappointing coming off his monster 2024 season. It's not like he's not seeing the targets. He had 7 targets week 1, 12 week 2, 6 week 3, but like only 1 catch week 1, 4 week 2, and 2 last week is very disappointing. I know I don't remember which game it was. There was a simple slant route for a touchdown that he kind of just dropped. So I don't think that wrist is fully where it should be yet. He just logged the full practice today, but until I actually see him in a game producing, I think I can't trust him to be in my starting lineup until I see that bounce back game that he's back to his 100% healthy form. Has nothing to do with his talent, has nothing to do with the matchup, even though this is a pretty bad matchup against the 49ers. It has everything to do with he is just not 100% healthy yet. And even though he's playing, he is not putting up those results that us as fantasy managers come to expect from putting him in our starting lineup.
Yeah, it's been kind of frustrating this season. The whole Jaguars offense, really. But
Travis Etienne looks good.
And Tootin.
Yeah.
It's been surprising.
How's Tank Bigsby? Oh wait, no, they traded him. Thanks.
That was Matt's
dynasty player
favorite player. He had a body pillow of him and a big head on the wall in his bedroom. Thanks, Bigsby.
Jesus.
Yep. That's me.
Oh, man.
All right, Chris.
I think.
Yeah.
Who you sitting this week?
I'm sorry. I guess I'm not stopping.
Besides
the
Tank
shots,
Bigsby.
Is it Tank Bigsby?
No. You're gonna sit Tank Bigsby because he's not gonna play.
Don't worry, the Eagles are gonna sit Tank Bigsby.
So I got T. Higgins. He's going up against the Broncos, but at this point, it doesn't actually matter who he's going up against. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw this last week. I've kind of lost faith in the pass attack of the Bengals. You're going to be lucky if Jamar Chase, does. I would actually say that Jamar Chase will probably lose many people who drafted him leagues because he's not going to produce anywhere near probably what he should be. It's not even his fault. It's just kind of the way the world works. It's actually kind of funny thinking that I think for the past 2 years, the consensus number one overall pick has Christian McCaffrey last year got hurt, and this year Joe Burrow got hurt, and that has caused Jamar Chase production to go into the tank. So yeah, it's but going back to T. Higgins, it's very clear that right now they can't support more than one guy. So unless if they trade for a quarterback or something miraculous happens, I am not foreseeing that, and especially this week against the Broncos. I mean, like the Broncos defense is there, like they are good. There's not really much, just don't bother. Like it sucks. I know he's like probably like your what was it like third round draft pick, I think, or something somewhere
like
in that. Yeah, somewhere in that range. I know that sucks, but we've already seen some good waiver additions that you can definitely supplement that with, especially with some of the injuries going around and whatnot. So definitely avoid that. Don't do it. It sucks. I know, but just stay away.
Yeah, basically, you don't want to be the first draft pick. That's taught me anything the past couple of years is do not be number one.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, it's. I am.
Or the person feeding the points gets injured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been rough for the Bengals. It's tough. My sit of the week is going to be every single Cowboy running back. I don't care which one it is. You're going to sit them all because they are not going to be able to do anything against the Packers defense. I don't care that Quinshon Judkins had a good game last week against them. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just let it go. Okay, have fun with them on your bench. You don't have to worry about it. So, not much analysis there because you shouldn't need it. But the Cowboys running backs are going to be very, very bad. Do not trust them. Go back. It is a trap. So, gentlemen, that is it. We are ready for week 4. Thursday Night Football will be playing tomorrow night. We're recording this on Wednesday. So I'm excited to see that game because, I have some starts of the week in that. So I guess for everybody here, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for viewing the episode. We really appreciate it. We're close to a little mini milestone, so any bit of help you can do is great. We're trying to get some more subscribers and get more stuff out to everybody. So good luck, everyone. Have fun in week 4, and we'll catch you